Hi, if you hear any background noise, let me turn up my mic. If you hear any background noise, I am doing this whenever anyone's home. It is Black Friday, so the house is initially chaotic. Today, we will be discussing the case of Anthony Templet, who killed his father burnt. If you have like a Netflix subscription, you know they have like the limited series on the platform. This case actually came from the limited series I Just Killed My Dad, which is the case of Anthony Templet. The night of Monday, June 3rd, 2019, Anthony Templet calls 911 and states he killed his dad. Police come out, and immediately when they get there, they arrest Anthony. He's put in the back of the cop car, and burnt. His father is found on the floor in the bathroom in his own blood with 2 gunshot wounds. After this, Burnt is of course not dead. He's rushed to the hospital, and Anthony's arrested. When the police go in to interview Anthony, they notice these weird little things that a 17-year-old boy would know. Anthony didn't know his house address and what year he was born. He said he was born in either 2000 or 2001, and he did not know his house address. That is of course a red flag, and this then leads police and investigators to look into Burnt and Anthony a little bit more. While police were doing this, Burnt gets taken off life support and initially succumbs to the 2 gunshot wounds, and this then upgrades Anthony's charges from attempted murder to manslaughter. I think it was of the 2nd degree, but I can't be too sure. Burnt was a wealthy man who loved to be in control. I can't remember what job he had, but he was making $100 an hour. Yeah. He would track Anthony via his phone, and there was 8 cameras around the house, excluding the master bedroom for whatever reason. Anthony was an off kid. People described him as antisocial. He didn't really socialize when people would come to the house. And not only that, he didn't go to school. Not only did he not go to school, he did not go to the doctors, he did not go to the dentist. This is important because Anthony will claim he is being abused, but when he did not get proper medical treatment, this does not have proof, because he never went to the doctor. Susan, Anthony's stepmom, would try and teach him like common knowledge things like how to read, how to write, multiplication, subtraction, multiplication, his house address, his birthday, things like that, when she essentially noticed Anthony didn't go to school and he was not homeschooled. Here's where the case is something else. This throws you for a loop, because it threw me for a loop. I watched 2 episodes in one night, and then I followed watching it the following day, and I was in shock. Investigators find Anthony's biological mom and sister. And might I add, Burnt was telling Anthony his biological mom was dead. This is where they also find out Anthony had been kidnapped at age 5 from his mom by Burnt. Burnt, in this time frame, was also addicted to cocaine and would hit Anthony's mom, Teresa. An important thing to know is Burnt was arrested for assaulting Anthony's mother when she was pregnant with him on multiple accounts with multiple charges. Before he had taken Anthony, he would watch Teresa's house and map movement, and then he eventually ended up taking Anthony. To this day, Teresa says she could still feel Burnt out in her tree line watching her, and that is icky to me. I'm sorry, I hate that. Anthony claimed he shot his father in self-defense, even though in the moment he wasn't initially fearing for his life. And this is what initially was said. You later get the bigger picture, but while I was typing this, I was doing it while it was progressing. Bung also pled for Anthony to stop shooting him, and at this point he had shot his father. His father's on the ground. He lets off another shot and it misses. It goes into, like, you know how a showering is set up, the like showering a wall, and then he shoots him for a second time, and that is when he essentially calls the police. Susan's son Peyton and Anthony all confirmed Burnett was physically and verbally abusive on multiple accounts. Peyton, Anthony's stepbrother, called his father and told him what was going on in the house. Peyton's father then called the police to the house while he was on his own way to the house. And when police arrived, Anthony claimed he was not being abused, nor had he ever witnessed anyone in that household being abused. When Susan eventually left the house, this is where Anthony describes it as the beginning of the end. Suzanne said the night she left Burnett, he had punched her in the face and had a satanic look in his eyes when he tells her, "You have no idea what I'm capable of." Suzanne left, leaving Anthony in the house. She also filed a police report about Burnett threatening her life, punching her in the head, and being verbally abusive. Anthony's lawyer, Jared Ambo, defended Anthony free of charge and hoped and prayed Anthony would get off with a lesser charge or would just be not guilty. He ended up holding a mock trial, and in this mock trial, everyone had agreed Anthony would be guilty of manslaughter, which, mind you, they had all the evidence of abuse and everything. They still said they thought he would be charged with manslaughter. Anyway, as the case was being built, Anthony's abuse claims started to be looked into, and Anthony claimed there was abuse almost every day after Susan left. Burnett would drink large amounts of alcohol and would become violent. Anthony was isolated and was never allowed to have outside contact. This includes Susan, Peyton, anyone else he might have known. I'm not sure if he had a job. I know in the docu-series his dad was trying to get him a job, so I don't know. Suzanne had posted what Burnett had done to her on nextdoor.com, and you know, when you do like something you're guilty of, you kind of like hide your face kind of thing. Like if you lie to your mom and your mom finds out you're lying, you kind of isolate yourself from your mother because you know you're lying. After Suzanne had posted, pages upon pages of what Burnett had done, Burnett would be seen strolling his neighborhood with like a smile on his face and shit, and that's weird to me. That is weird. That's weirdo behavior. Not only that, Burnett had lost his job due to poor job performance, and now was in credit debt of $80,000. What? Kind of crazy, but not hard to believe. On the night of June 3rd, Burnett busts into Anthony's room when he's sleeping. Burnett demands to know why Anthony was talking to Susan and what about. This is when Burnett got violent and chased Anthony down. Anthony had gone into his father's room and grabbed 2 guns before the tussle kind of moved to the bathroom, in a sense. I don't know if the master bedroom had a bathroom in it and if it was just the like hallway bathroom. I can't tell you. This is essentially when Anthony ends up shooting Burnett twice. All of Burnett's family never saw Anthony being abused, but they weren't surprised either when Anthony shot Burnett. They also didn't want to see Anthony go to jail. Anthony's lawyers told the district attorney the only 2 people who had ever witnessed this abuse would testify that to the court. Jared Ambo also mentioned that he thought it would be a reasonable outcome for negligent homicide with probation, and the DA office actually agreed. After this, like, finishing off, what I add, I watched all of these, and all of these notes are organized in, like, pattern to the episode. After this, we kind of get, like, that final little interview from Anthony, but not only that, we get to see him meet his mom, his grandma, his sister, and his aunt, and the interaction was, like, so uncomfortable to watch, but in a sense, like, after what he's been through, everything, it kind of made sense. It was very awkward, but he did state he was happy, so I don't know. What's your opinions on this? I thought initially going in, it was going to be like, we hate the person who shot their father, but I kind of remain neutral. Like, what Burnt did is bad, but I see why Anthony did it in a sense. Like, he was literally isolated and couldn't get help. So, don't be shy. Sharing opinions below. I will see you next Monday for a vlog. I don't know if it's next Monday or the following Monday, but it's getting loud. Bye.